enter that if you can accept her.
Okay, so let me let your
Her name is Arlette.
just a moment.
Mhm.
Так.
Hold there. She's in Teams. I have to tell her it's Zoom.
But I believe that so I see that people are joining us, so like it's not restricted.
See, no, she's in the wrong link.
Maybe. The problem
Yeah,
is with the wrong link. But
yeah. Okay.
mhm.
Well, she's gonna join us in a second. I'm going to, you have to check. Okay, let me send her the link. Oh, the beauty of technology. Everybody, thank you for being so kind. Hold there, hold there. Let me see. Where is the link? So I was thinking that the copy.
Perhaps you copied Ludmila's, yeah? So Ludmila's link, not mine. Yeah.
No, it's in the invitation because I send it through the university. It puts like a symbol of Teams, but I send her the link of Zoom, so she will join us. So hi Igor, hi Vitlana, hi Lydia, hi Alexandra, Valeria, Martha. So excited you're here. We have a wonderful presentation for all of you today. Have patience, and I promise you it's going to be worth your time. I'm going to check if she is already here. Let me see. So, Natalia, hi. If I didn't mention
Hello,
someone.
hello.
Hi. Happy you're here.
Thanks
I
a
was
lot.
just telling them in the assignment that you're doing with your professor, if you need data about dangerous cities, you should know that Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I live, hey, welcome, Arlette, is one of the most dangerous cities in the United States. So let's get started. Today, I have my dear friend, Arlette Faul, and her friend. They are connecting from Bismarck, North Dakota, that is super close to Canada. And I am going to let her share about herself. Where is the presentation holder? Let me minimize it. So if you want to get started, Arlette, talking, and I'm going to maximize yours and open it.
Sounds good. Hi, how are you guys? Good morning. Yes, I'm here with Elika. Elika is a student, intern student from University of Mary here in North Dakota. She's doing her social worker internship. And right now, she's here. She's going to be shadowing me throughout the day. And she's going to
Excellent.
follow me around and she's going to see my style of work. So she's going to be also working with the other liaisons and social workers in the district during her internship. It ends in December.
Excellent. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, Arlette, and why your work is so important in connecting the schools and families in that school district here in the United States.
Well, I always had a passion to help people, and I think this is the right lane to work for me.
Mhm.
Also, I've been working before. I used to work as a EL para, and that led me to have a great connection with the families because we used to work with Hispanic students, Latino, Spanish speaking students. So there is the connection with all the families for this role that I'm working right now. which is a cultural liaison. My name is Arlette Faul, and I am from Panama City, Panama. I've been living here in the United States for 11 years. And I do also interpret for the families as well. Also, I have a management, business management and education
Background.
degree background. And I've been working for the school district for 8 years now. And
Let
it's
me
been,
let me give them a little bit of a background.
yeah.
So Arlette and I know each other because when I was living and working there in Bismarck, North Dakota area, she was working hand in hand on me, even though we have a relatively small number of students, their needs to not just cover their academic needs, but their cultural shock when coming to a new culture, a new area. I cannot tell you how cold it is over there. What's the temperature right now, Arlette, in Fahrenheit?
Right now is like 48 degrees,
Okay, it's
which is not bad.
almost 4 degrees Celsius. And it's a nice weather right now because it can be -40,
Oh,
minus
yeah.
50, snow up to here. You are shoveling snow all the time. But that's why Arlette's job has been so important to connect the school that they have no experience in welcoming students from other countries. So tell us, Arlette, why is so important for the U.S. Educational system, the attendance of the students?
So basically, it's very important because we have funding programs
Mhm.
that will help the students with their education. And we want to make sure that they are successful uh, with, being in the school learning. Also, we have different students with different programs such as IEPs, with special individual programs. Also, we have what we call a 504, which is another program, and this helps the kids to be successful. We want to make sure that they're in school every day. One of my roles is to call the parents, make sure that they feel integrated into the system. And that's why we try to organize activities such as like family nights, where we bring community agencies from like such as food pantry, such as therapy, such as wellness centers, in order to have the family have resources. Also, the families, they support each other. They make friendships, and then also they help their kids to come to school. And it is a great community. That's why it's very important with the education piece, where I also emphasize to the students at the high school to go to college tours, campus tours, and also to have military education, whatever they are inclined to after the
Mhm.
high school. That is what we try to do so that they can have an education, because a lot of the students are going to be the first time to go to college.
Yes, and that is super important. My doctoral dissertation was precisely when I was there. And I wanted to understand why the students from a few countries didn't come to school, didn't value good grades or passing classes. Can you explain us what was the cultural shock? What you and I found out why the students were acting that way, Arlette?
Well, most of the time is because of fear. Fear, there is a language barrier. There is some shame. Also, the fact that some of the students come at the age of 14 or 15 into the United States, it makes it a little bit difficult, because that is the age of transition in the student life. And if they are coming into the school system, the older they come into the school system, is a little bit more challenging because of the language barrier. The earlier they come into the system, like if they're in the elementary, kindergarten, for example, is they're more successful because they already acquire the language, the social language, and then when they come into the school, then they're acquiring the academic language because they start learning how to read, they're starting other activities, and they learn everything in English. And also at home, they have their parents to help them with their primary language, which could be Spanish or any language that they come into in the district.
How many languages are represented in the school district? Students from what countries are you serving?
So like right now, we have students from Ukraine, we have students from
Yay.
Russia, we have students from Puerto Rico, we have students from the island. We have, for example, we have students from Guam, we have students from the Philippines, from Vietnam, China. Um, there is a lot of students also from Africa as well. My office here is at Lakewood, and at Lakewood, there is a lot of African families that
Population.
come to this school as well.
Excellent. So I would like to open the time now. If anybody has a question for Arlette in regards her job in making sure the students that are from other cultures and other languages keep on coming to school, and what are the resources that she has available, anything about connecting school with families. She is the go-to person. You can write it on the chat, or you can talk to her directly.
Yeah, don't be shy.
So I've got a question. How do you help them, your students, to overcome this language barrier? So what do you do?
Okay.
In order to unite them, maybe, yeah?
Okay, so like right now, we do have an EL department, which I work closely. They help the students with testing. Every summer, or not summer, but sorry, every winter, they test the kids with Access, which is an application that they use in order to see what is the level of language. And then they stay in this ESL status until they pass it. Like they have different levels. So when they get to the level 4, they will be able to exit the program. But also, as a liaison, what I do is that I connect the families with resources in the community, such as mental health. We also have places where they help them with, like with disabilities. We help them with housing. We make sure that the kids are well taken care of. If they're having behavior issues, I will be at the meetings. Also, I do some mediation as well. And always trying to connect with the families, with the school, and also make sure that we communicate what's happening at home so that we can help as a district these families.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anyone else? Before we start our presentation, Arlette, can you help families too with food, with clothes, with school supplies?
Oh yeah, like for example, at the beginning of the school year, let's say that if a parent reach out to me, every year we have the free lunches. So they have to apply every year for the free lunches. So I help the parents to apply for free lunches. Also, I help the parents to encourage your kids to go into sports. Make sure that they're if they don't have money to pay for joining the sports, we have a fund where we can, provide this for the students so that they can integrate better into the school system and make friends and be successful, because the more friends you have, and the more confident they're gonna feel in the school district. So that makes them successful. But they have to be in good standing in their grades and also their behavior in order to participate. Otherwise, it's always a condition that you
Yes.
have to have before, we provide them with that. But yeah, it's like meet me in the middle.
Yeah. And we're being super transparent here with
Yeah.
you. We don't want to pretend like, oh, everything is roses. And I mean, Arlette and I have been separating fights, and she's in one office with one student, and I'm in the other one trying to resolve the issue, and the police gets involved. And we have, I mean, students that excel and go to college, but uh, Arlette's role in the school district, and we are very privileged that Arlette is doing that job. There are other school districts that the teachers are the ones that have to be doing that job. And all is to help the students graduate from high school. So
Yeah.
it's a big effort what she's doing every year. When we see one graduating, it's like, oh, like a medal of honor, because it's a lot of work involved. So thank you so much, Arlette, for coming and visiting us and telling us a little bit of all that you do for those students. So again, if you later think of a question, you can tell me in our Telegram chat, and I can give you Arlette's email. I'm pretty sure I'm throwing you under the bus, Arlette, that she will be very glad to come in and connect with you. She will be a very good friend to tell you about the U.S. educational system. Again, thank you so much for visiting us,
You're
and
welcome.
we will talk later.
Something else that I just wanted to mention is that a lot of the teachers mentioned that they feel alleviated when I talk to the parents about things that are going in the school, because they have so much going on that they don't have time sometimes to talk to the parent. So
Yeah.
that's another thing that I do on
Yes.
a daily basis.
Yeah, to keep the parents informed of
Yes.
what's going on at school.
Yeah. Vice
And
versa.
positive and negative, not just
Yeah.
negative. Yes.
Unfortunately. But
Okay,
thank
well,
you so
thank you so
much.
much again. Thank you.
Have a wonderful
Talk
day.
to you soon. Thank
Bye.
you for visiting us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, well, that was the first thing to open the day. I hope that is helpful and gives you just a little bit of a snapshot of what happens at school here in the United States. I'm pretty sure you're like us, an octopus doing 20 million things at the same time and keep on cheering and moving on ahead. But if that's okay with you, I have a topic that I would love to talk to you, and is formative assessment. Very good. I don't know if this is the right one or no, or what. I'm going to close this one. I'm going to close this one. I have like 20 minutes. Okay, we're in the right one. So today we're going to talk about formative assessment. You know that in the classroom, there's a lot going on, but are the students really learning with all the chaos, the papers, the copies, the books, the games? So that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. As you already know, we have to record this session, but it's just for our own private usage. So the first question that I have for you is, it took me forever in my teaching career to realize, as educators, we are responsible, we are being paid for the students' learning, not for my amazing lesson plan. I taught the lesson and ta-da, the learning is going to happen. So it is a very shocking part to realize that this statement emphasized the shift in education. I'm talking prehistoric era when I start teaching, that it was an education focused on a teacher-centered model. I was like the source of all wisdom, and the students just were empty bases that received the information. So the shift is now our teaching is student-centered model, where the teacher, our role is just to facilitate, to guide, to empower our students, but they have to take ownership of their own learning. So we teachers are responsible to create a supportive, safe, friendly environment and provide instruction for the students. But they are the ultimate responsible for engaging with the material, for connecting, for grasping the concept and develop their own understanding and learning how to learn, right? So this approach fosters a great motivation because the students are the ones that determine where are with the information, but also allow us for an academic success in their lives. So who says it was easy? But I think we're up to something. So the students can have a lot of fun. I am the first one that love games in the classroom, but what the research says about all that activity that we're having in the class. Well, let me tell you what Shimcam says teachers with a strong data, assessment of literacy, collaboration skills, and pedagogical content knowledge are more likely to be successful in implementing the formative assessment. Now, tell me what it is in English. Well, when we are capable to analyze on the fly what is happening. Let me give you my recent example. This last Monday, I started teaching again my night class in a community college. And I have all levels imaginable in one single class. So you sense that you're losing them. And you have to come up with something to gain their attention again, to keep them engaged. You see the faces, you see the body language, and you're like, okay, let's stand up and let's something quickly to assess where they are in relationship with the new unit that we're starting. So when you act on the fly, you take into consideration the real life situations. For example, before you even start teaching content, the student had enough sleep? Is he or she hungry? Because you know, when you're hungry, you're not thinking in anything but satisfying that need. If that student has special needs, so they need a different scaffolding. If there are problems between the parents, the students are going to come to school aggressive or sad or tired or not engaging. If the students are cold in the classroom, if a student is sick, all that even before you start teaching. That is also part of our task. But then after all those needs were covered, we need to know the skills that each student possess. So that's why when before you start the class and you're doing what we call in English small talk, that you're connecting, oh, how's your day going? How are you feeling? You're assessing, you're taking information and data to know what's going on in your classroom in preparation to teach the material. For example, if a student does not know how to read, talking about the literacy, I don't know in Ukraine, but here in the United States, there's a lot of behavioral problems because the research says that if a student is not reading at grade level in 4th grade, the chances of that student to drop out from high school are very high. So we have, I'm not going to say a lot, but I'm going to say a few students that are in high school with zero literacy ability. So they are passing from grade level to grade level, and they, when it's their turn to read, they want to go to the nurse because they have stomach ache, or they go to the bathroom and it takes forever, or they start a fight, something to move the attention, and nobody noticed that they don't know how to read. So what are you going to do when a situation like that, when you have, let's say, 10 graders and you have 2 students that don't know how to read? What are the accommodations that you're going to do? How do you pair them up? That is also a very important thing that has to be based on how well you know your students. So you have to analyze all those factors. You can pair them up based on their skills, based on their personalities. So all that plays a role into being a very skilled teacher and deliver the content. When you teach your lesson, you need to have a sitting chart in a way that the students with higher needs or behavioral problems or bigger need of support are seated close to you. So you have to think in all those things even before you start delivering content. So here in the United States, the students that are from kindergarten to high school in a system that teach a second language, well, you have to make reviews based on peer assessment and technology assisted assessment. We're going to cover all those things, but that doesn't happen by accident. So you have to train your students in how to do the peer assessment. What I do is I model for them. I stand with another student and said, this is how it looks like. This is how you do the peer assessment. And I do it physically, like this is the rubric that you check, or you check capitalization. So you have to model them so they see what is your expectation. They have to see it, they have to hear it, they have to read it. Any questions so far? We're going to talk in groups in a second, but I don't want to go too far. I know I'm throwing a bunch of things. I take it as a no? Okay, very good. So this is our first assignment where your professor Olina is going to help me to separate all of us in different teams. So I put this picture here, and in my weird brain is a representation of formative assessment. So I want to hear what you have to say about this picture without telling you anything else, just that it's about formative assessment. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a time where you are going to tell me, what is formative assessment? Why do we need formative assessment? What have you done in your classroom? Do you use it? Do you know how to use it? And we're going to be transparent here. I'm telling you exactly the way it is with myself and how I have been learning how to get better in formative assessment. So if that's okay with you, oh yeah, I'm gonna make your teacher a host, and she's gonna separate us into groups. So we are 17 people, let's say teams of 3 or 4 maximum. And my expectation is that when you come back, you can have a representative of the team. You can write it on the chat, but you're going to tell me, what do you see in the picture that I just stopped sharing? Great. And you're going to tell me.
How much time?
No, that's okay. And you're going to tell me in a scale of 1 to 5. And let me tell you a strategy that we use here in the United States. So instead of the students raising their hand, they put their hand here on their chest. So this is 0. 0 means I don't know anything about it. 1 is I understand a little bit. 2, I'm kind of grasping the concept. 3 is I'm understanding a little bit. 4, I'm understanding a lot. And 5 means I can teach that to someone else. So the students do that facing you, so no one else see their hand in the classroom. So it's a very safe way to give you very quick feedback. Again, a formative assessment. So when we come back, you're gonna give me your sign. If you're like, I have never used formative assessment, or I'm so good, I can teach someone else. But I wanna hear your discussion, for how long you have been using formative assessment, how comfortable, but then what do you do with the data? Once you get the data, you use it for what reason? So we're going to be discussing 10 minutes. And when we come back, one of a representative of the team is going to read what they wrote in the chat, or is just going to inform us. Do I have any question before we move on to teams? That means I'm super good or I'm super bad. Okay, so that means you are ready to rock and roll. Your professor
information, get this data, you solve this problem by doing something, as I understood it correctly. Yeah.
Very good. Some adjustment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very good. So I don't know Ukrainian, so I cannot read your name in Ukrainian. The handsome gentleman here with us.
Nazar.
Nazar.
How?
Nazar.
Nazar. So Nazar, help me out here. Have you been teaching for so long? Are you familiarized with formative assessment? You're in mute. Hopefully you're there. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, well, we're gonna wait for him to come back. So Sophia, tell me, from a scale from 0 to 5, how comfortable do you feel well, number 1, do you use formative assessment? Are you teaching now?
Okay, I have been teaching for 3 years, and I've been working like as a tutor for small kids. And now, only 2 months, I like work in school. So just I started the career, and I teach in my first grade students. And for me, formative assessment in that age is something about like I give them a test, then I saw some mistakes that they made, and then I try to look with them on these mistakes and try to to what to do with them, like to okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, just to
participated in the exchange program. The American teachers talked a lot about in their individual approach, different. Like I was present during one class during the test, and the students were offered to choose the level of the test they would like to take. Like they were given tests of various levels from SELA. And on history. So that was the history, the like history subject. And they chose the test of the level they would like to take, and this is how it happened. No, I was kind of confused by this because I can't understand. We have like universal requirements for students' knowledge, skills, competences, and so on. And so how then we can deal with this if students they have like different backgrounds, different.
Okay.
So then when they graduate from any level, so how this
So
is,
how is it
yeah,
possible? How is it
how is
possible
it
to use
possible?
this
How
individual
it's,
approach to
yeah.
every student if there are 20 students in class, for example?
I
Yeah.
mean, if a student have chosen a test of like moderate level of difficulty and performed it to the highest level, and then another student who chose the highest level of difficulty, and the student also have the highest points. So how it is like
Possible to
taken
unite
into
them.
like in line how it's lined, what grade each of them take as a result.
Okay, so we have to ask her about it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what about
But
that arrow? Have you seen, have you mentioned, or have you noticed that arrow? Student, school, higher education, some or high school, something like that, yeah. And then state, and then state. What is that? So how can we explain it?
remind me, please, again, I'm trying to find this formative assessment definition and not very, like, absolutely bad at multitasking. You mean some picture?
So
Scales? Was this picture
no,
with the
no. She
scales?
asked us to
Uh-huh.
explain what that picture means. So yeah, there were the scales, yeah, and like arrow. I don't know what is that.
Uh-huh.
From school to the state, yeah. So this arrow is going to the state. So it means that they need this connection with government, with what?
Oh,
With
I
the
don't
Ministry of Education.
Оценивание. Right. No, they have their own system where states probably have their role.
Yes, but
Because
maybe
the
it
resources
concerns our educational system. We have to explain what we've got in our country. Yeah.
Mhm. Так, we've got no the definition what for the
So just feedback. Yeah. So immediate feedback from students, and that's all.
Зворотній зв'язок, мотивація, адаптація навчання, визначення цілей, регулярне зворотнє коригування процесу, самооцінювання.
Self-assessment. Yeah.
For self-assessment, motivation, reducing stress reducing the stress level and so on. Okay.
So who will represent that now from our group? Because it is maybe the end of our discussion. Yeah.
Anyone can.
Anyone. So we may do it together. Yeah. Somebody will start and somebody will continue. It would be better. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let it be.
We have now we are having more participants than before.
Yes, I understand. So what about them? Why are they keeping silent? They have to say something.
Probably we don't let them
the
let
chance
them
to speak.
interfere, a chance to speak.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Other group-
Are the groups formed yet? So
No, well, you're welcome. How would you define formative assessment?
So you ask me?
Пан Володимир.
Uh-huh.
Ой, it was, нет, it was пан Igor. You're welcome. What is your definition of formative vision of formative assessment? Please tell us.
Evaluation rather than providing. Ladies keep on asking the questions. Focuses on evaluation rather than providing. Okay. So what else do we have in that picture? And scales, yeah? There was scales. Do you hear me?
So Natalia, I can hear you perfectly well. I'm just fixing the issues. So yeah, that arose with some other members, so some other people from the rooms, and I had to like reassign people from room number 1 in rooms number 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to discuss that if Lucia allows me to do that, because certain people are talking, but the rest are just keeping mum, and that's the issue I'm going to raise. Yeah. So it shouldn't be like this. Yeah, all of you should participate, not just keep silent, cooking something in the kitchen. Yeah, because that's not quite fair. Yeah, so it seems as if we're going to get back, yeah, to the main session. Так, ага, so Igor just keeps on texting us.
Yay, I don't know about you, but we had a ball. I am super thankful. I was in a team with Boris, with Sophia, and with Nazar. So they gave us great ideas. I don't know if I'm throwing you under the bus to my team, and you would like to say a little bit of what we discussed. I love the fact that we are here among friends. So I don't claim that I know it everything. And I really think that Nassar, number one, I applaud him because he's a PhD candidate. He was accepted, but he was very open to say, you know what? I didn't get a lot of opportunity to teach. So this was my experience. Very well done. And Sophia, I don't know if you are willing to tell us, Sophia, we talk about, okay, when we are teaching a lesson, we can collect quantitative information. Like you can see in their faces that they're lost in the space or pretending, I don't know if that happens just to me, pretending they're looking in their backpack, like, don't ask me. And they are trying to avoid being asked. But when we collect all that information, like they are not being engaged, or qualitative data, like in the test, this student got just 4 correct out of 20. So you know is not getting it. What do you do with that information? So Sophia had great ideas. Sophia, would you be so kind? Would you like to
Yeah.
share with the group? Excellent.
I said that we can give feedback for these students and try to help them understand their mistakes, and so that they can overcome these difficulties in these exercises and in this topic.
Excellent. And then Boris was very kind to share his ideas because he's way younger than me. I guess I can be his grandma, but he was very kind to say, oh, when I was in school, uh, formative assessment was not a thing. I mean, when I was in school, I mean, we were writing in rocks. There was like, this is the class. If you get it, great. If you didn't get it, sorry for you. But Boris, what were your thoughts in regards these? Do you see it applied? Do we feel experts in that area?
So, as I said before, it was not about my school. My school had nothing like that. Everyone must know everything that our teachers are teaching us. But still, if our teachers see uh, any kids who have troubles with understanding, it is not a big matter for them usually. I'm talking about my school, right?
Okay, and that's okay.
Yeah. Uh, about the formative assessment, I think it should be provided in every school because now I
Yes,
understand what it is.
yes,
And but still, I have a question about the efficiency and
yes,
if it is time consuming or not. Because this is a new idea for me, and
yes.
I'm just seeing some pluses and some minuses about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking if a teacher will have any extra time on the class uh, to work with the children who are not so great in working in class.
Yes. Those are excellent questions. And let me share with you, the formative assessment can be in the form of a game. Let me share what I did last night with my class. We're in a unit of learning about clothes because it's super basic level, what I'm teaching right now. But I don't let my students talk in single words. For example, blouse. I'm like, she is wearing a blouse. And I said, you need to start speaking in sentences. But in order for me to start learning, okay, who knows? I said, everybody stand up. And I said, we're going to play a game. I'm looking for somebody that is wearing black pants. She's also wearing a headband, and everybody's looking around, and then somebody says, I think you're talking about Martha. And I'm like, excellent. So I know she's getting what's pants, what's blouse, what's blah, blah, blah. And then I said, okay, now I put in the screen something and I said, who knows what weather it is? Base it on the clothes. So you are constantly assessing, constantly asking questions. That is formative assessment. That doesn't mean you have to do something extra, but it's always assessing the students where they are. If you see a student cannot put a sentence together, well, you pair that student with somebody that knows how to do it, kind of like to tutor that. If you see somebody that is terrible in technology, you pair that student up with somebody that is great. So you have helpers in the classroom to bring the level up. But we're going to learn a little bit about that. Excellent question, Boris. Thank you so much. So if that's okay with you, let's continue. Any other team that wants to share what they talk about in a nutshell? You can, yes, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to say something. So you know that I work at the National Academy of the State Bodyguard Service of Ukraine, and I've got the experience, great experience of teaching English more than 25 years.
Wow.
I work with the cadets, and I have to say that we use this formative assessment every time because we use communicative approach every time. As for me, I like to feel this feedback from my cadets every time. Of course, we pay attention to their individual needs. Of course, sometimes they've got different level, but we have to unite them. We have to unite them into subgroups and according to their levels, and to prepare a special task for them or individual task for them in order to upgrade their level. So I absolutely agree with what has been said before. And I have to ask you about that picture, because as far as I remember, the question was what that picture means.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have to say that first of all, we have to use communicative approach. Then we have to bear in mind individual needs, yeah, of the students. Then we have to bear in mind the intellectual abilities, yeah, of the person, maybe, so their level of English. And I'm very interested in that arrow that shows the connection between students, school, state, and national. So of course we are working in one country. We got the same educational system, and we need to feel this connection with the Ministry of Education, and we need to feel this feedback from them. So what can you say about this arrow? Could you explain us? What do
Very,
you
very good
think?
question. Thank you, Natalia. Well, in my specific case, I have citizens from all over the world. So I want them to be not just bilingual, but bicultural. And what I mean is, for example, there are cultures that they don't look you in the eye, that it's a lack of respect to look people in the eye. And so when they come to the United States, people can perceive them like rude or disengaged or disrespectful, when in fact they are giving you respect because they don't look you in the eye. So I have to teach them not just English, but I have to tell, in this culture, if you want to make it here, you look people in the eye. And after COVID, people have like a big personal space. They don't shake your hand that much, but there are very important skills. For example, being on time. Here in the state, they are obsessive with being on time. And for example, you don't just call someone, you text them first. Like, is it a good time to call you? And if they say yes, then you call them. Here, nobody comes to your house and ring the bell just randomly. They said, would it be okay if I stop by your house? I want to drop something. So all those cultural things are very important for the students to be able to succeed. So you not just need the English, but you need to know how to function in society. The same way when I was teaching elementary kids, I just don't want them to pass English, math, whatever. I want them to be good citizens, to be respectful, even to throw the trash on the trash can. That it could be something so simple, but at the same time, we are not just passing on knowledge, we are forming human beings in order to fit in the society and be successful. So our role is way higher than just teaching content or teaching English. So as you can see in the picture, it says, definitely in education is not about, this is what I teach, what Boris and I, we were talking. That is not like, I taught the lesson. If you didn't get it, sorry for you. Like, you will get it someday. So we have to make those information data in order to inform our teaching and make the necessary adjustments. We work our students in teams, like you said, in groups based on different abilities or different skills, like one day reading, one day writing. But also we have to see the students as a whole, what they feel, what they think, what they hope, and you tap onto that. I know that, for example, Boris has a cat. So if I'm talking to him, oh, tell me the name of your cat and da da da. So I'm gonna pick in his interest to connect with him. So you don't know, I'm always taking notes and I'm always noticing things of all of you. So that's my job as a teacher. I need to know what you like, what's your favorite color, blah, 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 in order to connect with you. So that's part of making the differentiation to connect at a personal level. Because if the student wants to please you, wants to perform for you, you have it all. If the student is like, she doesn't care about me, they will not care about passing the class, right? So that's part of the engagement. Thank you for making that question, Natalia. Anyone else before we move on? Time is money. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, so I take it as a no. Let's move on. So what are the key themes in formative assessment? We talk about why do we do what we do? And as Nazar is going into research, I'm going to pick his brain. So what we do, why we need the formative assessment, what the research says is that it improves the student outcomes because you know what they're doing, you know how are they doing, so you're gonna make changes in your teaching in order to help them be successful. So it enhances the feedback. It is not okay in this day and age to say, oh, well done, good job. Well done what? Good job in what? It's different if I said, I really like that you're adding adjectives to your sentences right now. Well done. It's a whole universe of difference in the feedback when you know what the students are improving and what they are doing to get better. And then we assess the literacy. How are they doing? Are they writing better? Are they reading better? Not just the words per minute, but are they understanding the material? When I ask them questions, what happened at the beginning of the story? Do you know why the two girls helped that boy? What were they thinking? Can you infer? So all those questions are through your assessment of literacy, and it helps the students to self-regulate. If I know that I'm reading and at the end we're going to talk and discuss questions, I'm really going to be reading with a purpose, not just pretending it, because I know I'm reading for a purpose. So all that even helps you with classroom management. And then it develops the competency. So every goal that you have in the classroom is going to happen because you are taking the steps to continually being assessing your students. So I know it's not Christmas yet, but I have a present for all of you. So I'm going to start sharing in a moment, and I am going to share with you a document that hopefully is going to blow your socks off. Now I cannot get it. Hold there. There's the beauty of working. Now I cannot, oh, because I'm still having it in present. Okay, plan B. I'm going to Google Documents. Do I sing a song while I'm looking for it? Da, 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 da. Let me sing a song. Let me do something while I found it. My drive. I wasn't counting with that. I said, oh, I'm gonna put it here. I can take it from the window. What can I do? Oh, let me go to Canva again. No. It's always so interesting to be learning with all of you. Now you know I'm not a robot. I'm just a human being like you, and I make mistakes just like you. It doesn't let me. Okay, Olina, I need you to talk for a second.
Okay.
While I ignore me for a second. Okay, let me see.
So I've made you a host, so you have all the rights. So perhaps there is some other issue that you have.
Okay. So just, oh, you know what? tell them about the sign-ups for the presentations.
Yeah, so actually, so we shared so the document with you. So I believe that all of you have seen that. Perhaps I will just share the screen, yeah? So, and let us check if all of you have seen that link. Just a moment, just a moment, a moment. Okay, that's here, that's here.
Okay.
Так, then, so that's kind reminder, yeah, that all of you should think of what you are going to present, yeah. So there are some like some names, some surnames that are already here, yeah. Some people are here, but mind that not all of you so have decided upon what you are going to do. Please do not forget about this, yeah, because like in January as well as on the 17th of December, we are going to you are going to present your ideas based on these gems. So like some certain sessions that you liked, certain ideas that you'd like to borrow and implement in your own teaching. Yeah, so that's why, so that's just a reminder for all of you. And do not forget, please, that even in case if, because of some reasons, perhaps because of some family matters or power outrage or just cut off in electricity or any other things, you skip the session, then it's always available on our site. Yeah, so like today I'm going to add this recording of session 4, but so okay, I will just take a minute in order to remind you how it should be done. So in case if you wish, I can just send this link once again to our site, Basics of ELT. So here we have these events. Mind that in case if you just click on the word events, then you will have this page. It won't be quite helpful. Here you will just see the names or just the titles for our sessions and as well as the dates. But if you are interested particularly in certain session, then you should click on this triangle. Then you will get access to all the sessions. And that's how you can choose. For example, so from this drop-down menu, I can choose, let it be session 2. Example, yeah, and then I'll be redirected to the certain page where I will see all the pre-session materials. So by clicking on that, you'll be redirected to this so Google site if you're interested in this. Or yeah, and there will be also like the session itself. So here that's what we have. These are pre-session materials. But if I wish to like watch the recording of the session, how are you going to do that? So here you can see the image of everything. But so I'd like to draw your attention to the way it works. So you should click on that. Then you will see an arrow here. Then click on it. Again, you'll be redirected, and that's where the video is, and that's how it starts. That's the way it works, because I know that some of you had problems with this, like viewing and whatnot. So that's everything is here, everything is available. Yeah, everything is available. That's why. So
excellent.
Yeah, that's great that now we have time, yeah, for me to be able to explain everything to them and to show how it works, because I know that quite a lot of them had an issue, yeah, with finding the right session. So just by clicking on this so triangle, so you will find the session you wish. So yeah, and so today a recording of session 4 will be available as well. So I will stop. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for your patience. So we talk about the how to access the formative assessment in order for our students to improve. So I'm going to share in our chat this, hold it, let me open it. In our chat, I'm going to invite you to go to that website, and I'm going to share it as well here. So this is a gift for all of you. you can see that document, and let's talk about it. So these are helpful tips for all of you that I create. So you have, for any subject that needs a research and how to implement the formative assessment. Well, here it is, a huge organizational chart, a guide and plan. So you just click here, and for upper elementary, middle school, and secondary school, you have tips and how to do it. Then for all grades and subjects, you have exit ticket. How do you do it? Before they leave the classroom, it can be in a post-it. Tell me 3 words that you learned about today's session. Or you have all ideas, even for kindergarten. It can be used when they enter in the classroom or when they are leaving. That is a very quickly formative assessment. When you're reading it, you're getting information, qualitative information. And then for all subjects, you have, if you have never been at Edpuzzle, it's gonna blow your mind. It has a lot of ways and how to make your videos, and you can insert questions, things like that. Another formative assessment for the students when they are entering, click in that video and they respond 2-3 questions, and that creates a chart, and you know, so-and-so 0 points, so-and-so 3. Before you even start the lesson, you know how well they are doing. Then you have some video tutorials and how to do that. Then for language arts, for upper elementary, middle, and secondary, you have students listening to podcasts at the beginning level and how to get information, things like that. But this is my favorite. I would love for some of you to take the challenge and learn how to use plickers. This is a paper. This is what the plickers is. It is a paper, but let's say here, oh, we can even try to do it here in Zoom. I give each one of you a different print. So let's say your professor Olina has 1, Boris has 2, Natalia has 3. I ask a question and you just show your plicker. And I scan my phone or my iPad through the classroom, and it collects the answers very quickly and put it in a chart. So I know Olina answered true, Boris answered false, Natalia answered true, or answer A, answer B, like this. I get all the information in 1 second. So obviously you have to go question by question. But if you want very quickly feedback, this is absolutely amazing. So that each student, you give them 1 number at the beginning of the school year. I even laminate them for them to protect. And I said, okay, I need very quickly formative assessment. I already have the questions done. The students just show me what is their answer. And I just collect the data very quickly and I get my answer. This is going to blow your socks off. It's a game changer. So clickers, you have it there, and here is a way in how to use and get very quickly feedback. Then for formative assessment, you would love it. The Wayground, it used to be called quizzes. It is very similar to a Kahoot, but better. And all of them, the best word is free. You don't need to pay anything. For example, in Quizlet, you can have flashcards with the vocabulary that you want the students to learn. Automatically, it creates the pronunciation. So the students are seeing how the word is spelled, hearing how it's pronounced, and when they touch the index card, it flips and tells you, or a picture or a definition. There are hundreds of sets already created, or you can create your own. It has live games, it has quizzes, it has games, and free. So I think you will love it. So also there are games. For example, when you are doing a study, unit of study, you can play the ABC brainstorming. So you organize the students in teams and you said, okay, in this unit, you're gonna make a list starting with letter A, anything in the unit that you can connect with the letter A, with the letter B. So they are talking, they are writing, they are connecting. Maybe they're not gonna have all the letters of the alphabet, but you are making the students connect, talk, and think. Then you have analogies. Give me an analogy between something you already know that connects with the new content. You can make a checklist. For example, at the beginning of the unit, I said, I want the students to learn adjectives or prepositional phrases, blah, blah, blah. And then the students are going to assess each other. Tell me an adjective and tell me, for example, people. Is that singular or plural? What's a good adjective? So they are going to assess each other. Then you have choral response. I'm going to ask a question and they have to answer yes or no, or left your right arm, or I don't know. Sometimes I add even the leg to make it funny. So then a closed procedure. I have a paragraph for different levels of proficiency, and they are missing words that are related to the unit, and the student needs to fill it out. So this is a very quickly a formative assessment. I don't grade all the papers. I usually have self-checking stations where there's a paper with all the answers, and they come and check their own papers because I'm not collecting grades. I am allowing the students to see where they are with the information. And that way, they're not afraid. It's not like, I'm going to have a 0. No, I need to know how much I know. So please copy this link, take this material, and I want to show you right now via a game. And again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it. We're going to be together in groups. So what we are going to do now is we're going to be together in groups and we're going to discuss these questions. I know you cannot see them. Please forgive me. These questions. So how do I know that the students really learn what I want them to learn? How well did they learn the objective? Who mastered it and who didn't master it? Which parts of the objective the students are still struggling with? Do I have misconceptions? So I want you to connect formative assessment and checking for understanding with these questions. I want you to be brutally honest. What you are doing right now, and with this type of games that I show you, how do you think you will improve it? Yes. So we're gonna have 6 minutes. We're not going crazy with a. But when we come back, I really want to hear what you have to say in regards to these questions. Right now, how are you making sure that the objective you post on the lesson is being covered and at what level of mastery? And let's be brutally honest. I don't think nobody here can say, oh, they learn everything 100% all the time. So I'm going to leave that question there. I'm going to make your professor a host again so she can make the groups. And again, small groups so you can really talk. I'm going to leave the questions there or take a screenshot. And I really want to hear from all the teams, if that's okay with you.
So how much time will they have? 6 minutes
Let's
this
say 6 minutes. It's going to be fast and furious.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you're welcome.
Very, very happy to see you all. Excellent. Well, I would love to hear what your groups have to say about how do you tackle misunderstandings or completing the lesson objective. Natalia, do you want to share in a nutshell what we discussed?
Yes, of course. Do you hear me? Yeah. So we have discussed those questions, and I have to tell you that first of all, we need to summarize the material at the end of the lesson. I try to ask different questions individually, and in such a way I understand whether cadets understand me, whether they have got this material for the lesson. So in such a way, I know what to do for the next time. I try to do it orally, and at the end of the lesson, I give them very short quiz, and we discuss together their mistakes. They know what mistakes they've got and how to correct those mistakes, so they understand whether they are right or wrong. So
Excellent.
just something like that.
Thank you very much. Anyone else that wants to share, how do you tackle right now when you are covering a unit of study and you have students that you realize they are not getting it? How do you get that information and what do you do with that information? Any other team? Thank you for being here, number one. Elena.
So you're asking me, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I've been participating together with Svetlana and Volodymyr. Yeah, so they are here. Unfortunately, Volodymyr did not have any experience, but with Svetlana, so shared so many thoughts that so perhaps I will ask her to do that. Yeah, because I was just assisting a bit. Still,
Okay.
the main part, yes, of the speech so belong to her. Svetlana, don't you mind, by the way, sharing everything so you've presented? For me, just not to retell your words.
Well, I'm so sorry for not turning on my camera today because of all these conditions. Electricity. Well, actually, I had a small break because I was on maternity leave. And after being on maternity leave, I'm teaching. Well, it is the third year when I'm working at my new place in New Lyceum. It's a sport lyceum. And I should say, actually, it's a big problem for practically most schools and teachers in our country because of COVID, because of the war. Children, students, pupils, they have become lazy and they have become somehow unmotivated.
Okay.
And you are to do your best. You are to try everything possible, well, to motivate them somehow. And not to force them just for this studying, but still. Well, speaking about goals and all these objectives, usually I do it at the very beginning of every topic and practically at every lesson. I just tell them what we are to do and what we are to reach, what we are with what we are to finish our lesson. And then the next lesson, in the process of doing some activities, doing some tasks, coping with some problems, I just see the result of those my actions at the previous lesson. And I just easily can see when someone cannot do something, when someone someone does not cope with the task, well, then I understand that I did something wrong, or maybe I was not too good enough at explaining some material. Okay, how to say it? Maybe that's explaining, at training some things, something like that. You just see. Well, it can be also possible when, for example, students are not in high spirits, or maybe they do not have any desire to do something. It's okay, but doing different exercises of different levels, I just see the result of my work at the previous lesson, and then I just analyze. I think a little bit. I make some. Okay. Oh my God, I have forgot to say in English, vivat. Who can help me?
Conclusion, maybe.
Conclusion. Okay.
Conclusion.
Okay. One. Then I make conclusion, and I improve this task, or I improve explaining my material. The next lesson, something like that.
Excellent. And you know what? I thank you for your honesty in sharing here, Svetlana, that we know we're not perfect. And I don't know why in the brain of the teachers, we think we have to be like this eternal source of patience and knowledge, and we are humans. And that is something that we need to understand is not a reflection of, oh, I'm such a terrible teacher. Let me tell you the experience that we are having here in the United States. Data is what drives our teaching. Let me give you an example. Several years ago, when I was teaching in Texas in 4th grade, bilingual school, we have what it's called a three-way split. It means that 3 teachers, we're sharing 70 students, and they rotate throughout the morning. Like I was teaching just reading and writing, and the other teacher was teaching social studies and history, and the other one math, and don't ask me what. So we were responsible for all those kids. And at the moment that they were having the state test, because here the results of the state test equals money for the school. So it's a very big push for good results. So we compare what we're teaching, and you have to be honest, like in that classroom, something is happened that I don't know how to do it. So you compare your numbers and you're like, he's teaching better this concept than me. So I'm going to learn from my partner to become a better teacher. So Svetlana mentioned something super important, reflecting over your teaching and why it didn't work. So even if you teach the same lesson 3 times in the day, it's not the same lesson, because maybe the students are sleepy in the first period, and then the third time it's closer to lunch and they're hungry. So each class has its own challenges. That's why I suggest use the resources that I just gave you. And not everything has to be a test. It can be a game. You align the students, jump to the front if in this sentence you hear an adjective and they think they are playing. You make them move, you connect them with body motions, but you're getting information from them if they know or they don't know. So you get also information based on a game. So I'm going to invite you, I'm going to share with you through the chat this game, and I want you to join it. And I want you to play a little bit this game. It's about adjectives. Let me put it in the screen for you. Where is it? Are you being able to see it or no? Oh, no. There. No, not yet. Let me see where it is. So this is what I'm sharing. And this is what I want to share. Hold there. Be patient with me. I'm old. That's my official excuse. It's this one. No, it's not this one. Where is the one I'm sharing? Oh, I got it. Here. So is this game in gimmick? So I want you to go for a second and play that game. When you hear me singing Baby Come Back, means you're going to stop playing. And I want you to tell me, how did you feel while you were playing it? Turn on the sounds. That's super motivating too. And in 1 minute, I'm going to sing. Sorry for you. I'm going to sing. And you're going to tell me if it was motivating. What do you think I wanted to accomplish as a teacher? What was the objective of the game? Go. 1 minute. Okay, time's up. What do you think was the purpose of the game besides having fun?
So to learn adjectives.
Very good.
And their spelling, perhaps their spelling. Remember the way they're spelled.
Yes, and spelling at the same time, yeah.
So do you think this would be engaging to the
Of
student?
course, yes.
At what grade level?
Primary school.
Elementary, maybe.
Okay. Just elementary.
Yeah, maybe a little bit higher. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So that's a way that we collect information here in the United States. The students think they are just having fun. Were you able to play the sounds in the game? What was the motivation of you when you think, oh, I got it right? In your brain, in your feelings, what was the emotional component of winning?
We're proud
I'm
of
good.
ourselves.
I'm good.
Right? You feel like, oh, I want more. So that is formative assessment. You're getting data. The students play, but in your screen, you see how are they doing. Like, oh, this student is not getting it very quickly. And it's already created. I didn't put 1 minute in creating that game. So those are the things that I would invite you to use in your classroom. So now let's talk about the enter exit slips. So again, you can use it just as a paper. You can know who are your experts in a topic by telling them what you already know about this topic. And we already know that in kindergarten, you have experts in dinosaurs. There are students that are fascinated with dinosaurs. You use them as your expert. If you have students that are very good speaking in English, make it your helper, make it your expert. Don't sweat it. Let them shine and let them be your helper. You can use surveys. There are free surveys like this one that I have here that is called Survey Monkey. And you can create just questions. Have you ever used blah, blah, blah? Do you like blah, blah, blah? And you get information. Another way to get information, here in the States, we use what is called the parking lot. So you have for the students to put a post-it if they have a question, if they like what you present. I like this game because it helps me, blah, blah, blah. Things that they want to change, like, oh, it was boring. But you have to be open to receive feedback. And if they said your classes stink, you have to analyze why. Another thing that we do is the students have numbers and you have posted available and they put questions, they put like, I really don't understand these. And you collect that data, you collect that information that informs your next class, your next project, the next day lesson. So all those things don't cost a dime. You don't need time to create it, but it informs what is going on in your class. That is formative assessment, knowing what's going on and allowing the students to have a voice. Because Natalia and I, we were talking, she says, normally her classes are 17 students, that when you're teaching a second language, is it still manageable? Well, here in the United States, at a high school level, we have 32 students maximum. And can you imagine teaching a second language to 32 students with all levels of proficiency? So you need to give them a chance to talk, even if it's through a post-it, through a thumbs up, through give me your level of expertise. They need to get it out of their system and you need to hear from them. So I think I don't have a lot of time, but we will leave for the session in January. We will go through specific levels of proficiency. We will talk about what they are capable to do and how can you show a formative assessment to the level. And we will talk about beginning, middle, and advanced levels. So far, I want to tell you that you have done marvelous. And I want to tell you another very quickly strategy before we leave. Let me reduce it in size. No, I'm going to leave it for January. I want to put too much today. But I want to be open for questions. I would like to be respectful of your time. And I know we didn't scratch not even the surface of what we could talk about formative assessment. But if there's anything that I want to instill from you is collect information, not necessarily a number, but collect information in students' responses through games, through competitions in the board, writing a sentence. Everything gives you information about where the students are in relationship to the content you want to teach. Do I have any comments, questions, checks, credit cards, anything?
Thank you very much.
My privilege. Anyone else?
Just a question. So, because we can collect any sort of information, any kind of different information about our students. So, and I see that you are kind of fond of that. You keep on doing that. Where do you usually store this information? So, like on a certain disk. So, do you create any folders? Because that's interesting. Yeah. So you can
Very, very good question.
different data.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So let me go through there. So as I said, we're gonna go through in general, but I have it here. Where is it? So you collect this information. It can be, for example, every day you take notes. As I said, I notice, and I'm poor Boris, he's gonna think I'm picking on him. Like I notice he has a cat. So I write it down, Boris cats. So in the class, I'm gonna say so-and-so adjectives, like he got it. So it doesn't have to be a number. It has to be like he showed me mastery. So I know in this unit, so-and-so already got it. So I always have a list with me and I'm writing down information like, oh, he knows how to pronounce. He knows how to complete sentences. So maybe small notes that help you. This is where the student is in writing, in reading, in speaking, and understanding. Because I always have to be working in the 4 areas of learning a language. If you are just reading, but not comprehension, is this balance, right? Or if you're just speaking, but they don't write. So every time that you're teaching, you have to be aware, you have to be covering the 4 areas. Force your students to speak. Like you cannot be all the time be the one talking and they just say yes or no. Force them to speak complete sentences. And that informs you, oh, they got it. But also for example, let's say the game that we just played, the gimmick. I just go and check. And if they are decent, I don't store that information. But if I see a student that got 3 out of 30, I know I have to work individually with that student tomorrow. So you write it down in tomorrow's lesson plan to have a little bit of time with that student to work one-on-one or small group. So the information is to act and change your plan in the moment, tomorrow, before the test. So that's the big difference between formative assessment before I arrive to the test and the student fail miserably. I'm going to do something to prevent that failing. That is what formative assessment is. I know where they are and I change it. It is not necessarily a number. It is just, he cannot write a sentence. He cannot put what's a noun or what's a verb. So I have to do something to remediate that problem, right? I hope that I answer your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Right?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I hope that somehow we cover just the surface of the topic and that you go check that document that I share with you. It's still available on the chat, minimum copied, and you can check it out later. I would love to see a brave student that goes and develop several of the options to present during our presentations. I know you're going to do way better than me because you're young and beautiful. So I hope that you have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for your time. And it is always a privilege to see you. I hope that I can see you next week. And if you have any need, chat with me or send me an email. You have my email in the course overview. Thank you so much. See you next class. Have a beautiful evening.
Thank you.
Do the same
Thank
for
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.